if you choose not to follow God and you choose not to listen to him, you will end up looking like a fool at the end of the day. So let me tell you. So a couple of days ago, I had just got off work and I was coming home and I was just like, I was like, I feel like I need to go see a doctor. Like, I feel like I need to go to the hospital. I feel like I need to go to the ER. I just feel like something doesn't feel right, like within my body. I was like, something's going on. I don't know. I was like, I just don't feel right. So then as I'm driving, the Lord begins to talk to me and says, no, you don't. You're fine. You don't need to go to the emergency room. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I really do feel like I don't feel right. Like, I feel like I should go. Like, I mean, I trust in you and I listen to you, but I don't feel like, what are you talking about? And then, so I finally get home. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to go to the emergency room. God was like, I don't think you should go. That's a waste of money. That's a waste of a bill. You don't need to go. You're perfectly fine. And I was like, well, God, well, then explain to me why I don't feel right and what is going on. He was like, you're literally making this stuff up. And I was like, I don't believe I'm making it up. I feel like this needs to be checked out. And I feel like it's really important and really emergent. He was like, I'm telling you, you don't need to go. And so I'm like, okay. Now at this point, I'm in the car and driving to the emergency room. And he was like, you don't need to go, you're fine. And I'm like, God, I'm going to go and I'm just going to check and I'm just going to see. I was like, just to relieve my mind. And he was like, okay, cool. That's fine, go. So then I go, get checked in, meet with the nurse, boom, meet with the doctor. And so I'm telling the doctor about what's going on with me. And so the doctor was like, okay. He was like, that's it? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna, check and just kind of see. I'll be right back. The nurse is gonna come in. I said, all right, cool, not a problem. Probably like 10, 15 minutes go by. So I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see a video. And it talks about as far as with how your mind can mislead you into thinking there's something wrong with you. And especially when, of course, you should trust God and say there's nothing wrong with you. I'm talking to God in the emergency room and I'm like, was this you? Or are you trying to tell me something? I was like, because this is saying what you just told me. I was like, even though I thought something else. And so he was just like, yeah. And I was just like, all right. So then doctor comes back and doctor was like, so there's really nothing wrong with you. Like, everything came back perfectly fine. And I'm like, okay, thank you. He was like, yeah, but if anything else, just follow up with your primary care, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, cool. So I leave the emergency room and God was just like, what did I tell you? And I was like, yeah, but and he was just like, you went down your own accord after I told you that you were fine. There was nothing wrong with you. And so I was just like, all right. So I literally was left. Now I feel like I'm driving. This is like my version of a walk of shame or a drive of shame. Going back home and I'm like, so I literally just caused the hospital bill because there was nothing wrong with me, even though I thought there was something wrong with me. But he told me there was nothing wrong with me. And so now I'm just like, and I feel like the lesson was, trust in him when he says that you're fine, or really just trust in what he tells you and trust in his instructions. Because the moment you try to be like, oh, I'm just going to do it, and you try to do stuff in your own accord, you do end up looking like a fool. So I just wanted to share my story. And just listen to him. He does know best.